Hey everybody, how you doing? Today we're talking about the Phantasm franchise, and this is a flashback review because I'm not gonna cheat like on IMDb or rewatch the movie, even though all the movies are all five Phantasm is on Tubi TV. So, but I already saw them, so it's like I want to do something different, like a flashback review, go down memory lane, and see what I can remember. Like the first movie, I only reviewed part four though, one, two, and three. I'm surprised I didn't review those. Five I reviewed one time, but I didn't like part five, so I'm gonna tell you right off the back. Phantasm Five Ravager sucks. It was dragged out. The special effects was off balance. Respect to the tall man. I like the tall man. That was the only best thing about this movie, about part five, to be honest with you. But let's talk about the first movie. I remember seeing that as a kid on television, and then later on cable, the uncut version, of course. And very creepy, very scary, about the boy who's running away from this tall man, and you find out that he's picking up these dead bodies or killing live people to make them into zombies, and it's up to him and the ice cream man, who's the friend of the family, to fight him off. And then we get to the sequel, which is like a different actor, and this time he meet up with a girl that pretty much has the same situation as him, that the tall man took someone from her life, and her and the girl, and of course Reggie, who plays the ice cream man, will have to fight the tall man. This part two was one of the best horror sequels to follow up after our first movie, because the first movie was great. The second movie was like had some action, a lot of action in it, in my opinion, and it was pretty good with the special effects, especially with the silver ball effects. Then we get part three. I'm trying to remember a little bit about part three. I think this is when Reggie was pulled. It follows the end of part two when he was pulled to another dimension, and that's if it's been a long time I saw part three, but part three he meets up with this black woman who happens to fight the tall man also, and they're all trying to survive while finding his friend. And pretty much the same concept, but part three had a little bit more to it though, a little more action to it also. But but then we get part four, which was a prequel to Tall Man. A lot of people didn't like part four, but I personally like part four. I thought part four was great actually because it had like more of a backstory towards the Tall Man. And part five, it took it to another level. It's like same concept, but this time we got Reggie. We got Down Baldwin's character, who's of course the lead hero from the first three movies, four movies actually. Well, it might as part two because he wasn't like the main actor. He was in part two though. Somebody else played his character, but he fights the tall man again. He goes to different dimensions, and it was like a switcheroo though, if I remember part five like that. But I know I didn't like it though. But the tall man was only the best part of the movie, to be honest with you. So that's my flashback review of Phantasm franchise, and that's just my thoughts and opinions on it. I hope I remember everything in the right way, but hey, it's been a long time. So I have fun doing flashback reviews, so I'm going to do another one after this, by the way.